Okay, I've got a few more things to add. I really want to emphasize that consuming those gossip-style relationship channels will rot you, will take you further and further adrift away from what you know to be right or where you know happiness probably lies. Rinsing and repeating tabloids, we all know is kind of fairly lowbrow. And we say, that's all right, it's a bit of fun, human, relax. But just remember what they say about, you are the product of the 5 closest people you associate with. We are what we do, repeatedly. If you spend all day online looking at extreme forms of adults being intimate in the bedroom, or you're watching these gossip reality TV show style tabloid relationships shows and YouTube channels, those are what you consume all the time. You get conditioned by them. And what tends to happen is you start associating drama with an excitement of what relationships are. And you blur the lines between irritation and excitement in the same way that a lot of people can't distinguish the difference between starting to date someone and feeling insecure butterflies. Or is it your subconscious saying, this person doesn't feel right for me? It's that kind of discernment. And you can only know that by knowing yourself. Then you know how to put a voice to what you feel. This feels odd. Is it nerves? Or is there something wrong here? And here's another thing. The gossip style, reality TV styled, female-centered entertainment that men are starting to enjoy, it starts to get you associating, well, all relationships are like this because all women are like this. The ones that we watch, consume, and talk about. But at the same time, wouldn't it be hot to be with them for a bit? That's an exciting trip, an exciting adventure. And we start to associate the crazy hot mess, the nutcase bimbo that needs therapy, as something exciting. And because that's what we talk about all the time, that's all we're fixated on. And so a rudimentary, boring, rationally approached relationship or dating seems really mundane. Why would you want to do that when you can occupy this arena over here where there's a lot of drama and gossip and sound and fury and unpredictability and who knows what's going to happen? Ooh, it's exciting. It's such a female world. There's more rational, predictable, and a lot would say boring ways to go about it. But it doesn't make great YouTube videos, does it? It's not clickbait. It doesn't catch your eye. The headlines are boring. Think about that. Could you make amazing YouTube videos about the average woman? Not these extreme ones we love pointing to. Not the ones that make the news. Not the ones that we make the news. Could you make people care about average conversations, about an average person going about dating a rational way? It wouldn't sort of stimulate that gossip part of people. It wouldn't stimulate that lowbrow tabloid itch that we have. And can you really, when it's time to be serious and say, I want to find a stable long-term companion, can you really look away from what you've been conditioned with for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? It takes a lot of discipline, and so some people have set themselves in concrete so much by that trash that everything else seems boring. Why would I want vanilla ice cream, they say, when I'm used to 358 flavors of all this crazy stuff that's going on out there? It takes a lot of self-reflection and knowing what's valuable to you to pick quality. It's easy to say there is no quality out there. They're all the same. So I'm not going to have any standards and let's just all have fun. And this is one important thing that I realized after making the last video. People don't want to make a choice. They don't want to stand by a decision. They do not want to be responsible. We are acting so much like the women we complain about. Women can't take responsibility. We don't want to make choices anymore. We don't want to let go of the 50 women we could date. We don't want to pick one because we might be wrong. We don't want to be responsible for the decisions we could make for the betterment of our lives. We want the possibility of hundreds of decisions before us in perpetuity, like a lot of women who don't know when to grow up, who don't know when their fertile years are over, who look cartoonish or Botoxed up at 60 or 70, still wanting to be fuckable. We are scared to make a choice, and we intentionally avoid having strong, boring, but righteous values to make one choice and move forward with that choice being as certain as we can. What career you want to be in, how you want to change the course of your life, which person you want to commit to for the long term. It's much easier to get addicted to the dopamine rush of chasing endless possibilities. It's a lot of fun. It makes it seem like you can live forever, but you can't. Time is passing you by. No matter how much you word salad yourself and your biases to make yourself think that you can live forever by avoiding what is right, time passes you by and you will be a cartoonish looking octogenarian on your deathbed in some hospital, regretting the time you wasted, chasing female strangers, chasing variety. We chase so much variety, we don't make a choice. It is so sad, guys. We do not taste feeling alive by making a choice, putting all of our chips in. Make the redemptive choice to choose something instead of spinning 12 plates and never choosing anything because you think you're free. You're not free. You are chained to running after happiness that never comes because you never choose anything, because you never have the standards to make a choice, and you don't want to. These guys that focus on hot bimbos as your prize for a high-value man, it doesn't say much about the high-value man. And then no wonder they talk about, oh, you got to tame your woman, you got to control her. Those women, of course you do. They're the hardest to have relationships with. They're children. What about what they deem boring women, average women by comparison? Nah, you don't need to tame them. I can't prove how alpha I am by keeping her in her place. So you're not even proud to be with her. You're proud that you can tame someone who's annoying or obnoxious. You're not proud of your choice. You're proud of how you can control a bad choice. Is that it? I don't get it. Oh, by the way, if you could subscribe, that'd help me out. Thanks. And one final thing I want to leave you guys with is if you just keep consuming all the time this gossip style relationship advice from these pickup channels and, look at how dumb women are, look at how dumb men are, us against them, you will focus on the extremes. That is really easy to see someone who's obviously nuts, who's so stupid that they advertise how dangerous they are, right? It's easy to avoid them, but if we're fixated on the worst of the worst, the ones that make headlines, if we focus on the top 10% of the most dangerous women you could ever want to have a relationship with, your blind spot is the bottom 90% of women who aren't as crazy and bad as some of the ones you watch. Sure, they don't make headlines, but they can really ruin your life. They might actually be great actresses, and they're not as stupid as these obvious ones we can point fingers at. But imagine the blind spot you have where you only focus on the dumbest, good-looking ones. Your blind spot is more intelligent, more sensible, yet shrewd, conniving, and potentially sociopathic women that don't look on the surface maybe as hot, they're not as loud, and you think, oh, well, this one's better. You have a large blind spot, guys, by only being entertained by and focusing on being educated through this kind of gossip-style reality TV, gotcha male self-help with relationships. So I want to leave you thinking about that. Be careful where you spend your time, where you're entertained, because it affects you in the long term. It really does. You are the product of all the stuff you consume. The more hours you consume anything and spend the time in anything, including the entertainment you watch, you start talking, acting, and being that because you're always around it. You're conditioned by it. Don't think otherwise. So I'll leave you with that. Please leave your comments in the comments section. If you appreciate my channel and the work I do, subscribe, like, and consider donating if you feel like it. I really appreciate you guys who have and do, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye.